This position is very involving, and I am sure many of you have covered us before. Sometimes sleeping in this office, leaving here very early in the morning. Not just myself, also the members of the members we were serving with. But it was also an experience also to learn and know Kenya. There are things we used to do called public participation, where we would choose. We started with 12, we ended up with 20 counties every year, where we would allocate some retro money, actually 100 million per county, and we would then go there to ask Kenyans what they would prefer that we prioritize. The last one, I was privileged to actually travel all the way to Madeira and interact with the people of Madeira, and I am glad that I have had many of such experiences to also relate what we do on the table and how that is far-reaching and how that affects the lives of the Kenyan people. For example, there when we went, the leaders were very categorical. There was a teachers, a TTC, Teachers Training College, and a KMTC, which they told us the entire 100 million to give to those two. Because when we go all out to do those things, we specifically look at the impact of how those projects would work. And also by giving preference to what the leadership and the people themselves request us to, or were requesting us to do. Having said that, also for perspective's sake, and allow me to say it because it is how it is. At some point we got too busy, because you remember when you are here in the chairman of budget, you also have to go all out there and talk about the projects you are doing, but also on the other side, you are also doing work with CDF. You have colleagues whom you are interacting with as you work around CDF, and therefore, at some point, I also got too busy, as you could remember. Anyone launching a Masomobora in their place, I would go, and those kind of things. And what I'm trying to say is that at some point I got too busy. And my brothers and sisters, I'm telling you these things not more as a politician, but also as a human being. I got too busy at some point that for the last 2.5 years, I actually went to my rural place, our rural home. I went there for the first time in the last 2.5 years in September or October or November of last year, thereabout, in the last quarter of last year. There is the time last year I visited my sister who lives not very far from Nairobi, actually in Thika. So I went there and we were chatting, and I could read her body language. She was thinking, kwani huyu jamaa amepotea ama ni nini? Because I could hardly have gotten time before to actually also do such a thing that looks very small, but is also humane to do. So what I'm trying to say is that it has been intense, it has been busy, and I am grateful for that chance, because even in that intensity, it has also been a profound learning experience. I also want to take this opportunity